Okay, here's a little video demonstration I put together on how to put the drive mobility scooter together. There you see I'm looking at the drive unit for the scooter, pointing out it's got two levers there that actually click into two bars on the base unit where you put the feet. You just pick it up by that handle there and you just put it up in there and slide it up there and lock it on those two bars, and then you just push down and make sure it's good and tight. That assembles the motor unit to the platform deck, like I said, where she can put her feet and everything. Then you can loosen up the handle, or raise the handle up, tighten it up so it'll be out of your way when assembling the rest of the scooter. Now you see me pull out the battery unit. The battery unit, you just slide it in there like I just did so, and there's a little lever there so you can turn it around, push it down, and then turn the handle to lock it. That prevents the battery from flying out. You'd probably have to turn it over for it to fly out anyway, but it's a good safety piece there to put that on. Now to put the seat on, it's got a center peg. You'll see a handle there to put my handle on. It's got knobs on the side to adjust the arms in and out, and a knob on the back to adjust for adapters that you can slide in. And that lever there on my left hand, well, at the front of the seat on the left, you just pull up on that lever and that locks it down in place. And then you can pull that lever and turn the seat, and that's it. I mean, you pretty much got the whole unit together at that point. There are knobs there that I have on the side. That is for the awning that go over the top of the scooter, and I'll do another video of that, show how that's put together. But there's a little extension metal piece there. The screws are in the box excuse me, that you could replace the long bolts with if you didn't want to put the awning out, but most of the time the long bolts won't be a problem. It has a basket you can put on the front. It has 3 holes, 2 in the top and 1 on the bottom. You just hook the 2 at the top, push in on the bottom, and slide the whole thing down. And it's a sturdy little plastic basket. In the basket there you see I have the charger. I'm pulling out the charger. It just plugs in the wall 110, and you can plug it into the battery. The battery can be on the scooter or off the scooter. There's a place on the front of the battery, pretty easy to spot. So it'll go 9 miles on a single charge, which is pretty good. That's what they say it'll go. We haven't tried that far. Now I did buy an adapter for a walker, her light metal walker that she uses. All these scooters have a like an inch receiver port underneath the seat. You see I just slid it up and I'm tightening down the big knob to hold that into place. And there's the walker holder. It's got 3 Velcro straps. You put the long arm of the walker on the top, and then you'll use the lower strap to pull the leg, the leg that's folded on the outside to the holder for the walker. That'll prevent it from swinging back and forth. And let's see, just looking around, see if there was anything else in there. There are some other things I'm going to show here. On the front, there's a lever there that locks the steering into place. I'm pulling that and you just turn to the side, and that allows you to turn the wheels. Okay, and I got it open freely there. On the back of the scooter I'm pointing to now, on the bottom right corner, is a lever that goes up and down for drive and neutral. If it's in neutral, it's in drive there, that shows the walker's not moving. But if it's neutral, you can push it back and forth. Well, if you try to drive it in neutral, just like a car, it won't go anywhere. So you got to make sure that you have it in drive when you start to use the scooter. And also, it should be in drive when you put the passenger in. That way the scooter won't roll away on the passenger when they're trying to get in. I leave it in drive almost all the time when I was using it with her. And then once you get the rider in, go ahead and adjust the bar down to their desired height level for steering the scooter. I didn't mention that both arms come up on the scooter, so you can just pivot the seat and sit right in to the seat, and then pivot it back and be right facing forward on the walker. On the scooter. Alright, got the key, pulling the key out. I put an alarm system on this scooter, and this little alarm tab I'm showing there at the very top is to unlock and then lock, and also there's a lightning bolt, which is like a panic button, and then there's a button at the bottom which is a bell. Right there is where I mounted the alarm. It's just battery operated. It's mounted to the handlebar. If you once you activate it, if you just touch the scooter, it will give like a chirp warning to people to let them know, hey, you're messing with something you shouldn't be messing with. And then if they continue to mess with it, then the alarm will go off, and it'll keep going off for a long period of time, and it is very, very, very loud, so you won't have any problem with anybody coming to see that. That'd be very beneficial. Say if you're going into a restaurant and you didn't want to drive the scooter in, you could just park it outside the restaurant and activate the alarm and take the walker off the back and just walk right on in the restaurant and leave your scooter outside and feel safe that nobody's going to try to steal your scooter. Alright, I think next I'll show the controls on the, that's where you put the key in, over on the side, and it just turns forward to activate. I tried to show here the things on the control panel. I didn't have a good video shot of it, but across the top of the control panel there's lights to indicate how charged the battery is. That's what I'm showing with my finger there. And then the dial there that I'm turning the bottom, that's the speed. It'll go from very, very slow to much faster than you can walk. And also there's a little horn button there that I'm pushing on. You can't hear it because of course I screwed up the audio. But anyway, that's the little alarm system. And trying to think if there's anything left else to say about it. It's pretty easy to assemble. The heaviest piece is the base where you put your feet, and it weighs like 38 pounds. I think the batteries might be 20 pounds, but the whole unit's very easy to assemble and disassemble. You just disassemble it the way opposite of the way I assembled it, and as you can see, it'll fit even in the trunk of a fairly small car. That's a Nissan Altima I took it out of. So. Okay, now I'm going to show the assembly of the awning that goes over the top of the scooter. It can be used on a very bright sunny day to keep your passenger cool. I'm just putting a little pad on the ground so I can get on my knees there without getting rocks in my knees. First I'm taking off the walker holder and screwing the knob underneath the seat. Just slide that out. We'll lay it in the trunk here for a moment and get out the pieces out of the trunk. This takes a lot longer than actually doing the scooter itself. Here's an a bracket that I bought that provides the ability to hook up multiple devices. You really need it for the drive scooter because the drive scooter slot for going in attachments is pretty deep, and it didn't look like it was going to work well, so I put that on, and we'll just slide the attachment into that that extension there. Alright, so I put that in there and I tighten it down. First going to bring out the base to the awning. Again, it's just a 1-inch bracket. Got a lot of little pieces there, but you can slide it in that bracket and put it into the level that you want. Actually, I think I take the adapter out and turn it over here in a moment. We'll see. But this is the base, again, to the awning. The awning does have a number of screws that you got to put together. Excuse me, some bolts. Slide it in and just tighten the big levers to prevent it from moving around. And I've got some cotter key type pins there that you can put in to help secure it. I had these nuts and bolts on just finger tight, and for the purpose of this video I'm going to just put them on finger tight. In her car there is a little toolbox along with an adjustable wrench that I've left with the parts to the awning, and with those pieces you can easily tighten up the bolts that be required. Alright, here's the two arm assemblies that will go on top to hold the top of the awning. I put it in the second hole. It has several holes there that you can adjust the height on. This video is shot with one of those fisheye lenses, so it's going to look like it's way up in the air, but actually it's not. It's just the angle of the camera and the type of lens that's on the camera. But you slide in a bolt on each side. And you bring out the piece that's going to actually hold the cover. It's got two bolts, nuts and bolts on each side. You see, that's how it fits. It just goes right there on each side, two on each side. So I'll take the nuts and bolts loose here just to show you. Drop them on the ground, looks like. Take them off the other side. It takes a little time to put this together. It's not a lot of time, but once you've done it, it's not very difficult. And if you were going to spend an afternoon out, say, at a ball game, or like we did, go to Virginia Beach, going up and down the boardwalk, you may want to protect some protection from the sun. So what I do is I go ahead and put a bolt through the front piece. Excuse me, the front screw, and that allows it to pivot for putting in a bolt in the back. And you can't really see because it looks like I cut the top off the camera there, but it's identical on both sides. You just slip the bolt through, finger tighten the nut onto it, and you see actually it's holding it now. Picking up that one nut that'll drop. I got a bolt and a nut on each side now. And you can see I can pivot on that. That's what I was talking about, the pivot. And then you put in another bolt and a nut on each side. And like I said, for the purpose of this video, I just left them all finger tight. I was trying to do this very quickly before I took her home, It was my last chance to videotape it. I put it off to the very end. It was very humid out there. That's why you keep seeing me white sweat. It's not that difficult to do, it's just humid. Okay, now these two pieces here, they hook on the arms as well as the back of the awning holder. It's like a little L bracket on the end. And if you watch the first part of the video, you'll see that I had a couple big knobs there on the seats that I had already added, that you just turn by hand. You don't need a wrench or anything. Looks like I had that one nut on a little bit more than finger tight, so I had to take these nuts off. Of course, I did it on both of them, just laying it down so I get a little bit better angle on it here. Alright, I got the nuts and bolts out there. So you just slide it through, put a bolt on. Alright, I realized I had the bracket upside down here in a moment, that I couldn't get the thing up as tight as I wanted. So now I can actually, no, gotta take it off and turn the bracket upside down. Yeah, I had to take the bracket off. I had it upside down here. Once I flip the bracket upside the right way, you can slide it in further. I had to do that because the arms for the awning weren't reaching the knobs on the armrest. Now you see me taking the knob off the armrest. Once I get that off, go ahead and hook up the L bracket. The L bracket just has one bolt and one nut, and that knob on this you saw on the side for the armrest. Put the knob on now for the armrest. Put the bolt through. And again, I just finger tightened all the nuts for the purpose of the video. There is an adjustable wrench in the bag that holds these parts. Also in her trunk, she has a little bitty socket set that you can use the 1/2 inch along with adjustable wrench, and you should be able to tighten up all the bolts once it's complete. I was ensuring that the actual hole in the armrest goes into a protruding port of the bolt where you screw on the big knob on the armrest. You'll see what I'm talking about when you go to put it on. And I'm just repeating the same procedure on the other side. Again, just putting the L bracket on. I'll find the nut that dropped on the ground here. There it is. Doing the same thing as far as just tightening up the big knob on the side of the armrest to hold the L bracket to it, which gives the awning support. So at this point you got both L brackets hooked up. You've got the top of the awning hooked up. There's only 8 bolts, I believe, in the whole thing. It's just a matter of doing it one time. Once you've done it once, it'll be fairly easy to do again. It'll be good if you're going, say, to a ball field, or like we went to Virginia Beach. Real good for going up and down the boardwalk, just keeping the sun off the passenger. I'm going to bring out 2 little pieces of cardboard they provided for support. I'm going to loosely attach them. They didn't provide any kind of tie down for that, so what I did is I grabbed a shoelace and just put shoelaces on it, and actually I'm going to put it on here, but it's going to be so loose it's not going to matter much. This video makes the awning appear as though it's really, really high, but it's just the angle of the camera. Probably just cut the shoelace in half. I was just trying to get all this done. I was rushing because it was trying to rain on me, but the rushing made me slow down, made me fumble, and actually made a few mistakes, but got through it. And actually on the other side, I'm going to just lay the little plastic support up on top for purposes of the rest of the video. I won't even tie it on. We just laid it up there. You'll see it fall here in a minute. And then the final piece is the actual awning itself. You see there's ties inside of it. You just wrap those around the bar and tie them. I would suggest tying them in bows, or something that can be easily undone. But you should probably tie them if there's any kind of wind, or at least tie them just so it doesn't fall off, actually. So at least a couple of them are tied. So there you saw the support fall out and hit the ground, because I didn't tie it on that side. That's tied. I picked up and laid it underneath, just for the purpose of the video. That just provides a little support, like I said. And once you've got them tied up, that's pretty much it. Just be sure to go back and turn all the knobs, make sure all the knobs are tight, and tighten up all your nuts and bolts. And once you're done with that, you've got the scooter assembled and the awning on it. And there's only one other thing I'm going to do, and that is go and put the walker holder in the adapter. And as you saw how I did it when I first assembled the scooter without the awning, it just slides in a bracket down there again, just slide it in, and you can put the walker right on too. So you have everything you need there. You get the scooter and the awning, the walker, and it'll pretty much protect her, and hopefully she can go 9 miles if she needs to. Thanks for watching.